Good evening, everybody, and welcome here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're here with Ben's Album Challenge, which I do every second Sunday, alternates with the Great Album Challenge. So Ben's Album Challenge, basically, it's been around now for about a year and a half. I think we've been doing this. And basically what it is Ben picks an album, usually one I haven't heard before, but not always. Sometimes I get one that I've actually heard before. In the case of tonight's, that's what it is. And so what I do is I listen to the album and kind of review it a bit, and then pick a favorite song and tell them about whether I like it or I don't like the album. And so we're going to start tonight's album. Very simple. This is Masters Apprentices Choice Cuts. Now I know I have done this album, I think it was in one of the Prog album cuts, or maybe it actually might have been in the hard rock album cuts. I think that's when we did the hard rock album battles. I think it was one of the albums there. Anyways, it was a nice treat to go back to this album, because most of you know that I do not generally listen to music online. Generally, I listen to my CDs. But when I have an album like this one where I don't actually own the album, I will go back and listen to it. So I've probably listened to this album maybe 3 or 4, or maybe as many as 5 or 6 times now. I love this album. I think it's fantastic. Just almost the entire front side of the album, I think the first 5 songs are really good. And even the back side is not weak at all. I just think the front side is better. So I'm going to put my glasses on because I'll need to review my notes a bit. So this album came out in 1971, as I've already said. Masters Apprentices, of course, are an Australian band. I've done a review on another one of their albums earlier on in Ben's Album Challenge. So if you want to go back and look through the list of albums and see what the other one was, you could do that as well. I like that one quite a bit too. I think this one's probably a better album, but not by a ton. Okay, so the opening track is called Rio de Camaro. Really good opening track. I love this opening guitar part. It's really good. The vocals are kind of a bit poppy sounding at time, but they're catchy. The bass is also very strong, as it is on all the tracks on this album, quite a bit. Soloing is so good, and there's that scraping acoustic guitar part that they like to do, and they do it on a few of the tracks on this album. So that's the opening cut, which is called Rio de Camaro. The next track is Michael. This is an good acoustic opening song. Some very medium sounding vocals, that they're very normal range. They're not like up in the soprano or down in the alto, kind of in the middle, I guess. In the bass, and the alto kind of in the middle, I guess. Yeah, just a really catchy riff with a nice solo that's cutting towards the end. Sorry, I'm getting really tired now. The next song is called Easy to Lie. This is my favorite song on the track, on the album. I love this song. I gave it a 9. I don't generally give 9s, but it's just such a good song. The guitar riff with that heavy bass is so catchy at the opening, and it just goes on throughout. That's the backbone of this song. It's got some very, very early 70s sounding and style to it. The solo is fantastic, and the bass is so good. That backs these vocals so good. Yeah, it's a real catchy song. I had to play it 2 or 3 times. I like it so much. The next song is Because I Love You. Another really good track. I gave this one an 8.5. The acoustic opening, so laid back. The riff is so catchy. The harmony vocals are really good. The vocal part is so good as well. And the overall melody of the song is just fantastic. The next song is called Caddy. This is another song I gave an 8 to, another high number. Nice drum and guitar riff, opening catchy as hell. The vocals are rocking. The solo and the bass parts really heavy and catchy as well. This is an album you can really rock out to. The next song, Our Friends, now our friend, and I think this is pronounced Owsley Stanley, or it could be Osley Stanley, one or the other. Vocals are good and clear, catchy riff, keyboard part is good, and adds a kind of a background flavor to the song as well. The next song is called Death of a King. The guitar opening is followed by this heavy bass and drum riff. The vocals are a bit dated and are also kind of backgroundish. But the lead vocal part is much clearer and much louder than the backing vocal parts. Then you get this song from the Lost Gypsies. It's a bit of a rocker with a kind of a mainstream vocal sound. Nothing really memorable about this song. It's not a bad song. It's just compared to the other songs, it's a weaker song. I'm Your Satisfier. It's kind of an upbeat, bluesy, and catchy riff song. Another good track. Song for Joey. This is a shorter song. A nice classical little guitar bit. I think it's about 1.5 minutes long. It's the only kind of instrumental on the album. It's just a classical guitar bit. Well done though. And then the final song, New Day. Nice acoustic guitar riff. The vocals are very forward and upbeat, and it's kind of a bit of a bluesy track. So overall, I'd say this is a kind of a rocking, heavy album. Lots of great riffing. Not just the guitar riffing, but the bass riffing as well is really strong. Drums are great on this album, and the whole musicality and instrumentation of this album is really good. The tracks are a lot of the tracks are really catchy, and they get in your head, and you just gotta listen to them. Yeah, really solid album. One of the best albums that I think Australia has ever produced from any band. And this to me is one of the truly magnificent albums that I wish was more readily available over here. I wish I could find it over here. Everywhere I go, nobody has anything by them. And believe me, if I do find something by them, it's probably going to cost me an arm and a leg. So my plan was there's about 5 or 6 albums that fit this bill, with this album being one of them. But there's about 5 or 6 others that are hard to find, and I'm going to get a list of them together and see if the guy at Encore, the guy that I buy all my stuff from, can't do something, find these albums for me, and then I'll purchase them that way. I might have to pay a little bit. This album's well worth it. I paid almost $30 for the Rolling Stones most recent Hackney Diamonds, which I think is kind of high for that album. This one I would pay for that without even batting an eyelash if I could get it. But at any rate, and I'm not a type of person that likes to order online. I do it from Laser's Edge sometimes, but normally speaking, I don't like to order online. So I think I will go through this guy and see what kind of a price he can get me. Because this is definitely, this and the other album that, if you go back in Ben's Album Challenge and check that one out, you will find that they're both really good. In fact, I may connect this one to that album instead of to the last album I did, just because I think it... if you like this, you're going to like that too. So anyways, there you have it. That's Ben's Album Challenge for this week. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Ben's Album Challenge. Great album. Give it a listen to. Make your comments about the group, the album, anything you've heard in the comment section below. Please hit the like and subscription. It's much appreciated. And the notification bell if you wish to be notified of more of this content. So I hope you have a good evening. Enjoy the video, and we'll see you soon. Bye.